This episode of Running It Back is up and ready for your listening pleasure. This week on the show, Franklin Yee is back, our resident LA sports expert. And what are we talking about this week? Super Bowl XXVII, commonly known as the beginning of the Dallas Cowboys era. Held in Pasadena, California. See the LA connection there? I have a special relationship to this game because I actually attended it. I was there. I saw the Super Bowl in person. Franklin was living here in LA, and we had a good back and forth of what the Cowboys mean to LA. I grew up in a very Dallas Cowboy predominant family, so I'm always curious the crossover. As you can see, we have a spirited round of new categories for the game. While rewatching this game and speaking about it with Frank and re-listening to the episode, I had a thought that I didn't really consider while researching and watching this game. We went to the Super Bowl, as I said. My dad took me, my brother, and two of my uncles were there as well. One of my uncles lives in Pasadena, and it was easy. We stayed with him to watch the game, and we would always stay with him when we would visit Los Angeles at the time. The way it worked in the days of the VCRs, our plan was we would go to the game, we were going to set the VCR timer to record the game so we could watch it later. As it turned out, the Cowboys win this game big. So essentially, it was kind of a lifetime achievement ceremony, the whole game. We enjoyed every second of it. And as we left, we went to the grocery store, bought frozen steaks, we grilled them, and rewatched the game in its entirety in my uncle's living room. We commented on things we remembered, things that weren't shown on TV, what we liked, and ultimately at some point around midnight, me and my brother fell asleep on my uncle's floor. It was one of the greatest times I can remember. My Uncle Leonard was very special to me. He was always in our life, and about 5 years ago, my Uncle Leonard was diagnosed with cancer. And he was up and down with it for a few years and ultimately did pass away from it. It was hard to take in the last few months of his life because we were all so connected to him. He was always good to me and my brother. And in those last moments, he was in hospice care. We were all at his house. There was a moment when he indicated that it might be the end for him. We all gathered around the bed, and I grabbed his hand, and I remember he squeezed back. And while I wasn't okay with losing my uncle, it sort of indicated to me that he was okay. He passed away about an hour later. And it was very difficult to see someone I loved, someone who I knew my whole life, no longer around. He was great to not only me and my brother, but my whole family, and everybody looked forward to visiting my uncle when we would come to Los Angeles. Now that I live here, I got to see him more and more the years I was here, and he was always the same, always good, always welcoming, and it was a joy to see him. I found a picture of us at the Super Bowl, and it's one of my favorite ones because it's me, my dad, my brother, my two uncles, and my Uncle Leonard has his arms around my other brother. And you can tell they're very, very happy, and it's kind of how I'll always remember him. It's kind of ironic that one of my happiest moments being at the Super Bowl in person is linked to one of the saddest moments in my life in losing my uncle. Every time I watch this game, I'm super overjoyed by how fun it is, the great memories of it. So, Uncle Leonard, I miss you. And every time I watch this game, I'll think of you. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of fun. Cast your minds back to 1993, Pasadena, California. Cowboys versus Bills. Here's me and Frank. Back on the show today, joining me is LA sports expert and now three-time guest, Franklin Yee. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm doing excellent. I just lost your screen, though. Where'd you go?
There you go. I'm back. Okay.
You're back. Four-time guest.
Technology. I know. Four-time guest. Four times. Three times.
I was thinking this is a good sports event to running back because right now sports are sort of starting to come back. I watched baseball the other day.
How do you like that?
I watched some WNBA. I watched some basketball scrimmages. Have you watched any of the bubble sports coming back?
I watched one Laker game and then I just went back to my old routine, just watching it on YouTube. You know.
Really?
Stuff like that.
It was kind of weird. The bubble game is weird. The baseball I thought was really weird.
Yeah, I remember some guy hit a home run and I saw fans. And I was like, "There's fans," and those are just virtual fans.
I didn't know that for like 30. I didn't know it for 35 minutes watching the game. I was like,
"Oh, you didn't know they were virtual?"
No, I didn't know. And then
so
they
good,
did a close up and they explained it. I was like, "Oh, that's what's going on." And then they did a trick on me because all the fans have the Dodger blue on, and then they go, "Okay, watch this," and they made them all A's fans. Oakland A's fans.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I was like, holy cow. They switched all their shirts and stuff. It was funny.
Did you watch the game yesterday?
I didn't, no.
That's when the Dodgers played the Astros.
Oh, did they? I did see a couple headlines of it. It's trippy. It's getting
Yeah,
back, but I was down with it.
There was a fight. There's like a bench. They cleared out the benches. They're about to try to have a little fight.
Were they socially distancing fighting?
Nah, they all had their masks though. They weren't socially distancing.
That would be great if they would just shadow box each other 6 feet away from each other, but they still got the fight in. That'd be good. I love it. Well, it's coming back slowly to us all. So, but today's sporting event, I'm glad you suggested this one. I wouldn't have, and it's a really good one. We're diving into the Super Bowl XXVII, Cowboys versus Bills Super Bowl, right here in Pasadena, California. So it has a LA sports angle, has a lot to have to offer. Pretty cool Super Bowl to it. So I'm pumped up to talk about. In the rewatch, I found lots of stuff to it. So here's the
story is you went to that Super Bowl.
Right. Yes, I went to this Super Bowl. My dad took me, my brother, and my two uncles went. So I was there firsthand experience. I mean, I was 12 years old. And then you were here in LA.
Your dad took you to a fucking Super Bowl, yeah.
I went to one, yeah.
How crazy is that? Your dad took you to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And you went to a good one, too.
We went to a great one. It was a great time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, firsthand account of it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened. Like, what's your memories? Quick memories from that.
Quick memories. It was.
You also saw Michael Jackson too, right?
Yes. Quick memories of it. It was me, my brother, my dad, and two of my uncles. We went to the game. My uncle lived in Pasadena, so we went, stayed at his house, and we went to the game. And my dad and uncles are all huge Cowboys fans, so it was a big deal to go. So my uncles were big Cowboy fans from like America's team, the 70s Cowboys. So in 1993, this was like the comeback. They're like, oh, the Cowboys are great again, sort of thing. So I always say this with my dad. I don't know if my dad is a big sports fan because I never knew who my dad really liked as far as sports go. I just knew who my dad hated. My dad hated Danny Ainge, Bill Lambier, and Joe Montana. That's really all I knew about my dad until he would every once in a while say that he was a Cowboys fan. But I more so knew who my dad hated as a sports fan. So that's kind of like how he breaks down. It's kind of funny like that.
How do you hate Joe Montana?
Well, my dad was a Cowboys fan, and you have to hate Joe Montana. Remember? Well, it's from The Catch. Remember the Catch? They beat the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
My dad might be a Hall of Fame sports hater. He hates more people than he likes when it comes to sports.
well,
He's
you
a
know
Hall of
what?
Famer.
Those Cowboys, the Troy Aikman, the Michael Irvin, the Emmitt Smith, San Francisco 49er fans hate them.
Right.
Because they're the reason why Steve Young couldn't go to the Super Bowl. Like,
that's true.
They always take Steve Young out.
Interesting.
So they hate the Cowboys.
You gotta hate the rival. That's what makes it half the fun, really. But let's break it down. Super Bowl XXVII, January 31st, 1993, Cowboys versus Bills, Pasadena, California, in the Rose Bowl Stadium. Cowboys win 52-17, also known as the Michael Jackson halftime show Super Bowl. So big
You got to see
deal.
Michael Jackson when he was still Michael Jackson, right?
Right.
Before he went like cuckoo.
Right. Oh yeah. We'll get to that. So upon the rewatching of this game, you and I watch, which is all on YouTube, so it's perfect. You can watch the whole game on there. Surprises of the game on the rewatch. What did you notice?
Jim Kelly. I never remember Jim Kelly getting hurt.
Oh, you didn't know he got hurt?
Yeah, in the first half, I was just like, what? Because I was a kid back then when that shit happened. Like I told you before, this is the game where a lot of kids, like I think I was probably 12 too. I think this is the game where all kids became Cowboy fans out here after watching this Super Bowl. Because everyone likes a winner, and then there's no football, I think, or I don't know, the Raiders weren't winning back then and stuff like that. So fucking everyone was like, this is the game that made everyone to a Cowboy fan.
Right. For the LA angle, LA had no football team. So I'm wondering who LA defaulted to as their football team other than Colin. So what go ahead.
I remember I just remember just being a kid enjoying it, man, like just watching the game, eating food, watching the TV, because that's sort of the Super Bowl is sort of like that thing, right? It's like Christmas. You don't have to like football. You just have to it's the day they pick out, just go in front of the TV and watch commercials or stuff like that.
Definitely up there with the national holiday.
To me, it's my favorite holiday.
That's right. Yeah, we should just call it a holiday. It's just my favorite holiday.
Right, it is,
Yeah. My surprises rewatching this game, I forgot this is a good game for like 2.5 quarters. It's not a blowout till like 3 minutes left in the second quarter. I was like, I thought this game was a blowout. It's actually a competitive game for a while. There's a play early in the second quarter when Andre Reed catches a pass. He's going to score. He's going to tie the game. And one of the defenders sort of makes a touchdown-saving tackle, and that sequence leads to the goal line stand. I was like, this could have been a tie game. So I was surprised this is a competitive game.
I mean, everything was against the Bills, man. The Bills had, they lost their quarterback, and then that Cowboy defense was, ridiculous.
Yes.
How many interceptions did they have in that game?
I think by the end of the game, I think there's 6 interceptions. I think a lot of garbage time interceptions happen. But
do you think it would have been a better game if Jim Kelly didn't get hurt?
That's a good one. That's a good one for the pending questions debate. Yeah, if he had stayed in there, if a couple things go their way in that second quarter, maybe it's a more competitive game, at least maybe into the third quarter. So, all right, into my deep research. Here's what I found out. Deep research. O.J. Simpson tosses the coin for this game.
I didn't notice that.
O.J. Simpson does the coin toss. This was interesting. The Super Bowl was originally scheduled to be in Tempe, Arizona at the Sun Devil Stadium. However, Arizona legislature ruled to not adopt the Martin Luther King holiday. The NFL then pulled the Super Bowl from Arizona and gave it to Pasadena. And this was the last Super Bowl played at the Rose Bowl. Interesting deep research note. Yeah. How about this one? Garth Brooks sang the national anthem for the Super Bowl. An hour before he's slated to sing, he walks out in a dispute over NBC over them playing a video. He wants them to air a video of one of his videos. He walks out. Producers spot John Bon Jovi in the crowd and ask him to sing the national anthem, but they coax Garth Brooks back and he sings the national anthem. Deep research. I had no idea.
Wow. So they basically called Garth Brooks out. Hey, if you don't want to do it, we'll get Bon Jovi.
We got Bon Jovi in the crowd. I get him
Wow.
down here. But they coax him back somehow. Weird. Bon Jovi with Garth Brooks with a serious power move there.
Hey, man.
Kind of ironic
And it
that the
was
dude with
because
the cowboy
Super
hat
Bowl-
is singing the national anthem for a game with the Cowboys.
Ah, another coinky dink, right? Coincidence.
It was
what about-
set in motion.
Hey, what about like Troy Aikman being a UCLA Bruin playing in the Rose Bowl? The UCLA
You brought
college
that
football
up.
home
They
field.
Yeah, he went to UCLA. I didn't look it up, but I do hear the announcer say there was 7 players who went to UCLA in this game, and the Rose Bowl would have been their home stadium. Kind of an interesting fact, yeah.
You know what else I noticed too? You said it was like a competitive game. I never realized it was a competitive game. I always thought it was just a blowout, you know?
I did too. I didn't know it until the rewatch. I'm like, hey, there's a good back and forth going. The block punt, the Bills block a punt. They score a
They
touchdown.
had a shot. Yeah.
They had a shot. All right, pending questions for you. Does LA like the Cowboys? Is the Cowboys the LA team in the 90s? What's going on there?
I could say they were, but it's weird out here because when it's Raiders, it's Niners, because people everyone loves Montana and Young, like I said, and then and then Niners is California, so people adopted the Niners, and then and the Cowboys, because the Cowboys have training camp in Oxnard, and they started winning.
Okay.
Everyone loves a winner,
So there was a lot of Cowboy fans here at the time.
Yeah, over here, there's Cowboy fans, there's Niner fans, there's Charger fans, there's Raider fans, and there's Rams fans. So there's like 5 different teams that people enjoy out here.
Yeah.
It's a good fan base. So that's why whenever there's like a game, and then the road team is one of those teams, is always packed,
So there is some Chargers love here. I never hear any Chargers talk here. Little bit. A little bit. If nothing else is on. But some Cowboys love at the time here.
Like if it's a Cowboys game here, it would usually be it's a road game for them, but it'll actually be a home game because there's so many Cowboy fans there. A Niner game too is like that. You'll see more red than like the other teams. So.
Man, yeah, LA had nothing for pro football at the time.
And then the Cowboys were just a fun team to watch,
Yeah. Well, next pending question. Who do you feel worst for on the Bills for this game? Kelly?
Especially knowing what you know now, like how many Super Bowls he lost. That's awful.
Kelly gets mine too. I feel bad for him, and a little bit for Marv Levy, the head coach of the Bills. It just felt so depressing that those two were taking on another loss. It felt like all the weight was on them.
Yeah. When you saw like Jim Kelly in the street clothes with the crutches, like his hair was all done, I was like,
me too.
It's over.
Me too. You rewatch this game. He gets injured. He goes to the locker room. He comes back out 20 minutes later. He's wearing jeans. His hair's combed. He's in crutches. You're just like, that's it. It's it. He's taking a pass. He's out of the game. It is depressing.
Oh, you know what I noticed too? The hits were just nasty in this. I haven't seen people get hit like this in a while in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Some good hits.
They're not a hit like that. That's a penalty.
Right. Everything's a penalty. We watch games now through the scope of, is that a penalty? You're like, I don't know about that hit.
Think about it. Like they protect the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like they protect the quarterback right now just because of shit like this.
Yeah. It was a different game. Well, that's how you know you're getting old, is you watch games and your reaction is, it was a different game. It's a different time.
That's true. Yes, sir. No.
My other note, I don't even know why I wrote this in pending questions, but this was just a childhood memory. They show the Cowboys coaching staff, and there's a member of the Cowboys coaching staff who I always thought looks like Christopher Lloyd. You see that, Dave?
Really? I didn't see that.
I purposely didn't look him up. I don't want to know his real name. He's Christopher Lloyd to me. I'm keeping it that way. I think he's the special teams coach or something, but he's got the long white hair. I'm choosing to leave that memory as Christopher Lloyd coached on the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, we already casted him for the movie right there, you know.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Yeah. All right, on to the halftime show. Is this peak Michael Jackson?
Oh, yeah. This is peak. Because
this is before,
he has all the classics.
Yeah, he does the classics. He doesn't. No lawsuits are going on at the time.
Is he with Macaulay Culkin at this time? Like he's hanging out with Macaulay Culkin?
I think he's hanging out. Remember he like had a chimpanzee at some point, but there was no like weird stuff. Well, he was weird, but there was no lawsuits. So I think he was still our golden child to some degree. So is this peak Michael? I think this might have been the height of Michael Jackson, and then he fell down the mountain after this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he got married to Lisa Marie Presley. Then he started having kids. And
I forgot he got married. You're right. Someone should just make a note of that. Michael Jackson got married at one point.
So you saw OJ pre-OJ. You saw pre-murder. You saw the Cowboys beginning of their dynasty. You saw Michael Jackson pre-crazy. Not bad.
That's true.
That's a movie,
true,
man.
There was a lot of pre-crazy going on in this Super Bowl. Michael Jackson,
Shit,
OJ.
that was it now.
Man, there was so much happening in this bubble.
It was funny. When I was doing my homework for this, I Googled 1992 Super Bowl halftime show, and then it showed like Gloria Estefan and some like Christmas thing. I was like, this can't be it. This can't be the Super Bowl show.
What was that about? Well, the NFL is weird because it happens over 2 years.
I see. Yeah.
So maybe that's what you got.
Yeah, I was just like, what the hell? And I was like, this can't be it. And I saw the Michael Jackson one. I was like, this is the right one right there.
Gloria Estefan.
Oh, yeah. So, I have a question for you. How happy was your dad and your uncles when they won the Super Bowl? Were they just jumping around, high-fiving, going crazy?
Yeah.
Did they cry?
Well, yes. My dad is pretty excitable. My dad didn't cry. I think my other uncle cried, but he'll never admit it. I have the uncle who's the biggest Cowboy fan of the three of them. And that uncle is the uncle who wears sunglasses inside all the time. He always wears sunglasses. And I think at some point during the game, probably mid-fourth quarter, he cried. But he had the sunglasses on, so we don't know for sure. So it's a strong possibility that he did cry in this game. Which I don't even blame him. Have I cried?
Yeah. No, have you ever cried during a sports moment?
Yes. I've told this story a few times. I cried at the 1991, I think it's 91 AFC Championship game. Because my favorite team was the Raiders, and they played the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl, and they lost, and I cried. And
wow.
I cried, and it was at my grandma's house, and my parents made me go to church, so I missed the first half of the game. So I was like, we got to get to grandma's house so we can watch the game. So we hustled to the house, and we turned on the TV, and it was already a blowout. It was already like 28-3 or something, and I started crying. And my other uncle was like, are you pissed? And I was crying, and he was like, yeah, you're pissed. And he just kept walking.
Wow. Anger tears.
Yeah, I cried at that game.
I never cried during a sports thing. Almost, but never. But
you never had a crying moment?
The Dodgers? Not a sports thing. I was always like, yeah, high-fiving and stuff like that. My friends tell me though, if the Dodgers win the World Series, they would probably bust a tear.
Tears of joy. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I never seen that. I had a friend actually. He used to drive a Prelude when he was in high school, and then he got that same Prelude as a 45-year-old man, and a tear came down his eye.
Wow.
Tears of joy, yeah.
From a Prelude.
I know. I got. We're comics though. We have no souls. So.
I guess so. Yeah, I cried at an AFC championship.
So.
It wasn't even the Super Bowl. It was the AFC Championship. And this dude cried at a Honda Prelude.
Yeah. I found that funny. You cried during the AFC thing? That shows heart, man. Did you cry when the Raiders during the tuck rule? Were you mad? How mad were you that?
I was mad. I was a little older, so maybe that was it. But I was more mad at that game, at the Oakland tuck rule loss. And that was a conference playoff game, so maybe the stakes weren't that as high. But
because I remember that's the game that made Tom Brady, right?
Right. Yeah,
he became Tom Brady after that.
The legend, the spark started. They still had to win a couple playoff games, maybe one playoff game to get to the Super Bowl, but that was probably the start.
Yeah, because that game was insane. It's all snow. We should talk about that on the next one, man. That's a good one, too.
That's a good one. That's worth diving into. How about with the halftime show? What do you think of the halftime show in general? What do you rate it?
10 out of 10.
Me too.
Someone said, I was reading the comments, someone said this is probably the greatest Super Bowl show ever. And I was just thinking not pretty much right. And then
I did like it too.
Jennifer.
Yeah, I liked it too on the rewatch because it's really theatrical. It's a great performance. And I also like how at the beginning of the show he does the Three Amigos trick where a dude is dressed like Michael Jackson. We all think it's Michael Jackson. And then another dude's dressed as Michael Jackson. He's on the scoreboard. And then he comes out. It's totally theatrical. I totally buy it. Hook, line, and sinker. So I love the performance. It's claimed to be the most watched TV event with 133.4 million viewers. So the only thing on the halftime show, all the children that surround him when he sings the song, and the crowd does the card trick where they hold up cards and it makes children, doesn't age well. does not age well. I can see Michael Jackson saying "Can we get the children on the stage?" And his publicist is like, "What's with a little too much children, Michael? Do you think it's too much children?" And he's like, "It's gonna look good. It's gonna look good."
It's like knowing what you know now, right? Like when you see OJ, you're like, murder.
Right. Doesn't age well. It's like, how about we get the crowd to hold up pictures of children? It'll look great. I'm a little far on that one.
Well, that's the last of Michael in his prime,
Well, he died doing what he loved. Okay, on to the categories. Favorite part of the game.
I like the touchdowns to Michael Irvin. Those were nice. Those were some nice slants he threw and stuff like that. Like Aikman came to play.
Yeah.
He had his A game on,
I got, for favorite part of the game, I got 3 nominees. The goal line stand early in the second quarter. The Alvin Harper touchdown dunk, where he dunks at the goalpost.
That was
and of course,
Aikman threw that shit.
Yeah, of course, the Leon Lett play as the most replayable parts of the game. For me, it's the goal line stand because it's early in the game. It's still competitive. There's a lot of energy. The Alvin Harper dunk is kind of the cherry on the top of the game, though, to me.
It was over by then, right?
It was, that was the cherry. That was just this is a blowout. Every score is going to be memorable now. Everybody do something when you score now. So that was the cherry on the top as favorite part of the game. Okay, how about main characters of the game?
Aikman. Aikman's the main character. And Novak, I guess,
Oh, really? You mean Novacek? Jay Novacek?
Novacek, yeah.
You got him as a main character, huh?
That's one of the go-tos, man. He kept the game moving.
He was.
He was the unsung hero.
You know how they say, like, SNL characters, like, we need someone who's the glue. Phil Hartman was the glue. Jay Novacek might have been the glue, the Phil Hartman of the Dallas Cowboys.
Because he was the go-to, like, boom. He's like the perfect example of a tight end in the NFL, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just that guy that gets you.
I got as my main characters Jimmy Johnson, Michael Jackson, and Michael Irvin. Those are my main characters.
What about Jerry Jones? How excited he was when they won?
Good one.
Jumping like a little girl, man. Like, woo! He was going crazy.
That I got that as a question in here. How about if we're casting this as a movie, who are your main characters cast as? You said Aikman and Jay Novacek. Who are you casting for those two?
Well, my main character, it has to be the main guys on the Cowboys. You know, it gotta be Emmett. It gotta be Irvin. You know, because Michael Irvin is just a character. So, I mean, the whole Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson, Jimmy Jones. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Aikman. Who would Aikman be? Who's the guy? He's dead now. Oh, man. But the guy that played Tom. You remember Rocky V?
Oh, yeah.
He was a boxer.
Oh, Drago?
No, that's 4. 5.
Oh, Rocky V. Oh, Tommy Morrison.
Tommy Morrison.
He did die.
I always thought that.
Oh, he had the good and he's an Oklahoma guy too, right?
Yeah, I got the hair and stuff.
Or am I confusing him with the actual character in the movie? But he had the hair. He had good Aikman hair.
And then who else? Who played Michael Irvin?
Well, I've noticed a pattern in myself. I cast Bill Bellamy in every single category I do one of these. So I gave it to Bill Bellamy again because my main characters were Jimmy Johnson, Michael Jackson, and Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin got my Bill Bellamy choice for it. Jimmy Johnson I give to Bill Pullman.
Ooh.
What do you think about Bill Pullman?
Great one.
Yeah.
That would be a great one.
Or in case Bill Pullman opts out, Richard Dreyfuss. Just because I want to see him have a freak out.
You know what? Any movie you put Richard Dreyfuss in, it's going to be a good movie.
And then for Michael Jackson, I casted Donald Glover.
Actually, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's a small part. I don't know if he'll do it.
He might. And he has the talent to do it.
That's what I was going for.
Any way we can squeeze in Tom Hanks in this movie?
Who would Tom Hanks say? Tom Hanks is just like, I want in. Who do we cast him as?
Troy Aikman?
Troy Aikman's grandpa? Who would? He'd have to be on the coaching staff. Right?
Maybe Jimmy. Yeah.
Or maybe if we find a good enough wig, he could be Jerry Jones.
Maybe. He'll be a good Jerry Jones.
I'd like to see him try his hand at Jerry Jones. How about if we rewrite the ending to this game, or rewrite the game? What do you think?
Kelly has to make a miraculous comeback. Plays with a broken leg.
Oh, he pulls a Willis Reed and comes back into the game with a broken leg.
Wait.
I went because I'm a sucker for the underdog. I went when the second string QB comes in, when Frank Reich comes in. I say the game's getting out of hand, and then a small earthquake occurs in California.
Oh!
And they have to stop the game for like 35 minutes. It's not a big quake. You know when the lights went out in the 49ers
and the Ravens?
Yeah, and they stopped like that. Just a little delay. And then Frank Reich leads a great New England-Atlanta Super Bowl comeback. But the Cowboys pull it off. They stop them at the end. And I named that movie Third and Long.
Actually, if you had the Bills win, I would have been like, so many people would have been upset with you. But actually, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like the earthquake. I like that we have a very California sort of angle where an earthquake happens. I like the comeback, but the Cowboys still win in this game.
I like that. That's actually a great story.
It's called Third and Long.
All the three we did, this might be the one.
Could be the one, right. Or, wait, change it. Change the title to The Big One.
The Big One.
What if we call it The Big One? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I got a casting thing. Actually, a casting change. How about we get Peyton Manning to play Jimmy Johnson?
Peyton Manning plays.
Or Jerry Jones.
Peyton Manning now plays Jimmy Johnson then.
Yeah.
Could
He's
be
a good
interesting.
actor.
He's a good actor. Yeah. Yeah. He
Real
seems
good
a little. Yeah. Maybe Peyton Manning could go full. What's the guy's name? He could go full Christian Bale and gain a bunch of weight to play the role correctly. Yeah. What about that? It goes from Allstate commercials to playing Jimmy Johnson in a super dramatic role.
I mean, you think about it, like, Will Smith used to be a shitty actor. That's what he said. He wasn't that great, but he just worked very hard. He practiced hard and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
His lines. That's a Peyton Manning thing.
Okay. What if Peyton Manning becomes just this crazy good actor for the next 20 years? He takes on these heavy roles. Would you believe that?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think he's got it in him.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. He could do it.
Yeah.
This will be his movie.
Yeah, this will be his movie that we start to see it. We just see little glimpses in this movie. You know, like you watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, there's little glimpses of Will Smith being a great dramatic actor. And we're like, oh, keep it like when he hugs Uncle Phil because his dad didn't love him, and he does the classic, why didn't he want me, man? And then he hugs Uncle Phil.
Oh, dude, this guy,
like,
man.
Keep an eye on this guy. Yes,
Peyton
Manning.
Have you heard that story? Like when James Earl is hugged, James, whatever his name is.
The actor, Uncle Phil. Yeah, what is his name?
He's
right.
whispering,
I don't know the story,
like,
though.
James Avery. He's whispering, now that's acting. That's what he said to Will Smith in his ear while he was crying. Now that's acting. He's just hugging him like that. Like,
I like that. I like that scene, not to get way into the weeds, but I love that scene because Will Smith is going deep into, like, you know, where all the places his dad wasn't growing up, and Uncle Phil is just standing there letting him go, letting him vent, taking it. It's such a dramatic scene. I say we end.
That's one of the best, yeah.
I say we end every running it back episode with you and I doing the Uncle Phil scene. That's a new closer.
Another fact is, I think he improv that shit at the end. Like James Avery, he was like, "What the?" He didn't even know Will was gonna do that shit.
Everybody, go watch that on YouTube. It's deep. It will hook you inside of 8 seconds.
Yeah, if you don't cry, be a comedian. You'll have no soul.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That makes me tear up every time I see that shit. That's awful.
Maybe that's your crying moment.
Yeah, but it's not sports though. It's Fresh Prince.
It's like, It's all right. I'm gonna give you an honorable mention for crying.
Okay.
That's something that's on a television set. What about next category? Beyond MVP award. The nominees are Jimmy Johnson's turtleneck, Michael Jackson, the Rose Bowl, starter jackets, or whatever Jerry Jones did to celebrate that night.
I keep on calling Jimmy Jones. My bad. Because I keep on thinking about the Jimmy John sandwiches. I eat those a lot. I go starter jackets, man. Starter jackets.
Beyond MVP to start. Yeah, everybody had them.
Because it's 2020 and people are rocking them now. That's like a big thing now. People look for those jackets.
Starter jacket.
That's like all the rappers, like everyone's wearing those jackets right now.
Starter jacket.
So to have those jackets
deal to wear. I am curious of what Jerry Jones did to celebrate that night.
A lot of cocaine, I think. Right, he looks like cocaine.
You know it had to be great. Whatever they did, you know it had to be great. But
and then they broke up Dynasty, right? After a
couple years later. Yep. It was a quick
Egos.
It was a quick dynasty. Man. I wonder if they could have won 3 in a row or 4 in a row.
Who knows, man? Because you gotta be very disciplined to just do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They believe they could have won 4 in a row, though. They believe that.
They won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, so that one in between. Could have really set them in just beyond dynasty, which they almost get to that Super Bowl, but it was.
What do you think would be crazy? What do you think would be crazier? 6 Super Bowl rings in New England or 4 in a row with the Cowboys?
4 in a row is monumental. I don't know if anybody can ever get to that. So that would have been beyond dynasty. That would have been over the 49er dynasty. We'd be comparing everything to the Cowboy dynasty of the 90s if that happened, right?
Wow.
They would be up there with the Bulls dynasty, probably. 4 in a row. That's
4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I watched something with Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Emmitt Smith, and they said that's their biggest regret, losing to San Francisco. They said they could have beat them. And they fucked up.
Yeah.
And they said they would have won 4.
Which go back, it's an interesting game. They get down early and they kind of come back, and there's a pass interference call or no call. I forget what happens, but that game was in their hands. It could have went the other way.
And what I remember from that is Deion Sanders won the Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers, and then the year later he went to the Cowboys.
Yeah, Deion Sanders was just up there, just taking bites of the apple all the time, getting Super Bowls with different teams.
That's what I remember, but
yeah.
That's another one. But what's the next one you want to talk about? The Tucker Rule?
I'm gonna have to go into an emotional space to get into that. That was a good one.
Oh,
that was a tough one. My final thoughts. That one might have to be done on a couch.
All right,
My final thoughts on this game are witnessing the start of an era and kind of being being a small part of America's team. Being a small part,
You know how many? Do you even pay attention to the game, or were you just like some of those kids are like, Dad, give me food. Dad, give me this. Dad,
I was old enough to pay attention to the game and know what was going on. I was old enough to that, but you're right. Watching a football game live is difficult because you just don't have access to all the announcing and all that stuff. But so it's a little different experience. But I was able to keep track of what was going on. I was 12 years old.
What would you do if you went to that Super Bowl at your current age right now? Would you have been like losing your shit and stuff like that? Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. I definitely would have been a different experience of taking a little bit ability to take more of it in, to kind of witness all the crowd around and all the reactions to it. Probably would have been a little different. As a kid, as a kid, you take it in and it just sort of gets heightened. It's on a mega pedestal for me because it's like right age, right time, right team. So it gets a special moment in my psyche. And I wasn't even the big Cowboys fan, but I can appreciate the fandom.
Wow. When I heard the story when you went to that Super Bowl, that's so crazy.
Yeah. I'll have to find some pictures of it from the game and I can attach it to this episode.
How much were tickets? Were they arm and leg?
I was thinking that, and I think my dad has the tickets somewhere, and I think the face value was like $500. I think. I'm gonna have to double check.
Oh shit, man!
I think I'll have to ask him and see.
It's like $3,000 to get like a nosebleed, I think.
Yeah, and we were up there, but yeah, we had the ticket. We bought the program. They had little seat cushions on the seat, that said Super Bowl. On it to sit on, and then it had a little packet of little memorabilia in the little pocket, little football cards and stuff. So it was beyond cool experience.
Hey man, that's a cool dad right there. All right.
Yeah.
Very cool dad.
Yeah, that was awesome. Good LA tidbits for us, Frank, on the Cowboys LA relationship.
Yeah. So far, what we did? We did Dodgers. Did we do Game 7 of the Lakers?
No,
we didn't do that one yet.
We did Dodgers. We did
Trojans.
And now Pasadena Super Bowl are 3 LA.
Okay, let's do a Kobe one next time. How about that?
Let's dive
into Kobe. Are you a big Kobe guy?
Yes, I can get into Kobe. All right, you heard it here first. Let's find a Kobe angle.
what should we do? Should we do number 8 Kobe, number 24? Like, what should we do? Is this death or is or the 5th ring?
I like the first championship, the first LA Laker Kobe championship, and there's a couple in the middle there. I'll have to check it out and see, but I like the Kobe angle.
Let's do a Kobe one. We gotta do a Kobe one, okay?
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining me, Frank. Good episode.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. Anytime.
That's the episode, everybody. Super Bowl XXVII, Cowboys versus Bills, Pasadena, California. The dawning of the Cowboys era. What a game. What a time. I can't believe all the things that happened in this game. I want to thank everybody who listened to the episode. I want to thank Franklin Yee for bringing his LA knowledge. And thank you, everyone, for continuing to listen, giving me the feedback. And next week, I'll have another episode, sports and beyond. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'll see you soon.